Without it.
Wait, I got what?
What's good? What's popping? What's going on? Good evening. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is Tuesday night, and this is still absolutely the Chop Up Show. Believe it or not, this is your girl Toya G coming to you in real live, in form and living color. And I'm with my dogs tonight. Y'all go ahead and tell the people what's up. Introduce yourself.
What's good? It's the political plug, Damo. We back at it. Maybe a Tuesday, but we in here.
Yeah, maybe a Tuesday is me consciously. Make sure y'all pull up on us on Thursday though, because this is a makeup for last Thursday. I had some things going on, but we're gonna get it going Thursday as well. Thursday
Yeah,
night still extra out for us.
Yeah,
still live and in
this is just that
effect.
makeup episode.
The millennial in me also can't not say we're going up on a Tuesday. Shout out to I Love McConan. That was an era. And so when the important things happen on Tuesday, it's just really kind of how it comes together for me specifically. We got to talk about the Benito Bowl, baby. We got to talk about young Benito Ocasio and how he took the stage by storm, and really had us talking. As the halftime show typically does, we know that this particular Super Bowl was the second most watched Super Bowl in NFL history. And I want to say Bad Bunny had the somewhere top rated, highly watched. I don't want to say top because I'm going to lie, but I will say that was the second most watched Super Bowl. The first one being Chiefs and the Eagles last year. 138 million people watched it. I want to say 125 or so million people watched it worldwide, at least the halftime part of it, because some people I'm not watching the game part, but I will tune in for that part, so they're able to see the little spikes in the ratings. So bottom line, it was a thing, and I feel like we got to talk about the Kendrick experience, because that was the last time we really had such a huge, long standing conversation about the effects, the moments, the imagery, the symbolism, the song selections and choices, the features, this, that, and the other. And a lot of people are even scratching their head about Bad Bunny and his performance and what's coming next. Because if y'all see, they said, where do we go from here? Right? We went from Rihanna to Usher to Kendrick to Bad Bunny. So it's like, who even is worthy enough to slide into that next spot? And it don't seem like the NFL is going back to the old boring Kid Rocks of the world, for example, that was at Turning Point USA. Y'all know it was a whole little separate
American badass.
And so it's a lot going on. Before we get too deep into it, I'm looking for the comments to start rattling and rolling. So if you coming in here or you in here already and you know what's up, you locked in, you ready for a Chop Up Show experience, you part of Chop Nation tonight, go ahead and jump in the comments, say what's up, drop where you talking to us from, all of that kind of fun stuff. And let's go ahead and get into it. Lee, what's up?
Man, jumping right into it. There was a lot of xenophobia that we seen in terms of people having issues with the different language and language barriers. Without me asking how y'all feel, actually, the more thought-provoking question I think we should ask is, was there a way for you to enjoy the performance even if you did not understand Spanish? And if so, what specifically did you enjoy about the show even though you don't speak Spanish?
What?
You on mute, or your mic ain't on?
I was able to enjoy it, even though I ain't speak Spanish. My wife kind of primed me to it because a lot of the songs, like my wife is a big Bad Bunny fan, oddly enough. So she was like, "We got to listen to this song, and he probably gonna do this." You know how when you know who's gonna be at the Super Bowl, it turned into what song they gonna do. So she was doing a lot of that. I'm also a fan of cultural displays. You know what I'm saying? Except the one cultural display that I felt like was the wackest shit ever was when the Olympics was in England, or it was in London, and it was like they were showing like industrial shit, like street chimney sweepers and shit. And I was like, yeah, that's boring as hell. That is whack as hell. No Harry Potter, no nothing. I was extremely disappointed. But in terms of like ethnic cultural displays, I felt like it was things that I was able to catch, things that that was kind of like, oh, okay, this got to be interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that after the fact. But I think what I enjoyed the most about it was that it was a very sanitized way to say fuck ICE. That's just what it was. Like to see smiling Latino people, you know what I mean, to see a celebration of Latino culture when you have a federal government who is currently operating in a lot of ways, now that we got Kavanaugh stops and shit like that, to criminalize, you know what I'm saying, like the display of Latin ethnicity, and turn that into something that makes people feel ashamed of, or makes them feel like they gotta hide it and those types of things. And just the background on the Kavanaugh stop, y'all check out the past episode where we talked about how the Supreme Court justified racial profiling. If you look like an immigrant, you know what I'm saying, they justified racial profiling. And so knowing that was everything leading up to the Super Bowl, to me, all of that was just fuck ice. And I feel like that's what I appreciated. That's what I appreciated about it the most. And then the white tears too. And we're gonna get into that. But knowing how pissed white people were about the non-English, you know what I'm saying, the ass shaking, you know what I mean, just like the display of Latin culture, and then them talking about America is all of these places and started naming. So that I enjoy pissing off racist white people with a beautiful Latin display.
Absolutely. Shout out to BP in the comments. That's my dog. Definitely near to my heart. My dog in here representing one of the many flags, that was up in the form of El Salvador and many of the other Latinx countries. So when you talk to me about what I really appreciated, I think it's twofold. First, I love the diasporic representation down to the Caribbean, right? If you pay attention, Bad Bunny not only made sure that there was flags represented and shout outs to all of, I won't say all, because time is finite, but a bunch of Latinx countries, then made sure to shout out a bunch of Caribbean countries. So he talked about Jamaica, he talked about Antilles, he talked about Antigua, like literally just being very clear about who is the we that he's talking about, right? And so, even in terms of shouting out the United States, you know what I'm saying? He's shouted out Canada. That energy, that vibe, that love is all around the world, and it's nowhere you can run. It's nowhere you can escape it. And so for him to even shout out and speak out those things was just so beautiful. And it's because twofold. One, we have to talk about the Afro-Latinx experience, the Afro-Latinx people, and how they are constantly being left out of the conversation, from everything from deportation to immigration to what it means to be a part of that particular culture, right? So just making sure that is visually accessible to people who need to understand that array of experiences. But also, we got to recognize the anti-Blackness, right, is so dynamic, so prolific, so insatiable to regimes of anti-Blackness and white supremacy, that those things have been adopted in Latinx cultures, right? So even seeing the gamut of people who might not be Afro-Latina, but just the colorism being challenged, when you see Latinx people from a bunch of different shades, like, I don't know where you from, I don't know how you identify, I don't know if you identify as Black in the Afro-Latino sense, where you are truly recognizing your African ancestry. That is, a process and a work to be done with betwixt and in between cultures. But even outside of that, ontological knowledge about the role that Blackness and slavery and things have played on how, a lot of Afro-Latino people see themselves, just understanding the colorism, right? Like you being the darker cousin, you being the darker sister, you being the real light skin one, people are accusing you of not being, about La Cultura enough, like all of that mystified, with the representations that we seen. Then second fold, it was just a whole lot of gay shit going on, and I'm here for that. Thank you, Bad Bunny. A lot of people are like, is Bad Bunny gay? Whatever, because this dude's bumping and grinding, this women doing their thing, or queer people in general. I don't want to gender these folks, but just having expressions of love, life, celebration, and that whole energy. And it was amazing because first, of course, they was mad about it, right? Tweets from different politicians,
they was mad
conservative, but pissed and upset. But more importantly, it just gave the full experience of life and love, down to the little boy who I don't think was the young man it's so much representation. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I think BP is meaning when he's like, existence is resistance. You know what I'm saying? Just being there and being free and being open and being loud and being unapologetic is enough to get them pissed, which means that's the resistance that we need, right? Anything that's going as what's my girl K Michelle said, shake the table. We love a good shaking of the table, and I feel like Bad Bunny made good on that in our expectation to Give them something. Let's give them something to talk about. They got them talking.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, it was a couple of songs that I found myself jamming to, and I hopped on TikTok and was like, "Oh, that's the English translation of that."
Yeah,
like the song he started out singing, nigga. Like, oh, so he's just rapping about just having girlfriends, like a motherfucker.
Yes,
like, okay,
my auntie something. Oh, and that's what I was gonna get to about Bad Bunny. I'm sorry, brain fart, and you moved to the songs and the lyrics and stuff like that. But to be clear, a lot of people are like, well, is Bad Bunny queer? Is Bad Bunny gay? He's been very clear about not being gay, not being overly straight. I think he's quoted as saying that he is not attracted to men on the offset, but not closed off to it. So if the right person situation came, he's not, above or beyond having those types of attractions, but that he's primarily attached or attracted to women. And I think that's fire because he, again, in a lot of ways, I see, similarities with Lee, where he just becomes a portal to the ability for the freeness of queerness to exist in proximity to his performance, right? The freeness of queerness to be, close to what he is and what he represents and what he does without the discomfort, without the stigma, without the shame, which excuse me, truly what allows for everybody to feel a little bit more alive, right? And so that was something that I really appreciated on top of just all the other imagery and things that we saw. Sorry, my brain came back to me.
Nah, you good. You good. I think that the way people try to police and project sexuality on the bodies is always interesting to me, especially when it comes from a place of openness. And it's like, because you're so open to this, it means you must be gay, or we got to figure out some type of way to trivialize what we think you is.
You gotta make it make sense somehow, yeah.
And shit, but you
like
don't make sense to me.
But you support. You got friends that you don't care if they.
Yes, gotta be.
It is not that damn difficult, nigga.
I've been out. You know what I'm saying? And this is not. I've seen Lee just really move with a level of confidence, security, acceptance, love in very queer spaces and be like, I gotta call my wife. I gotta Faith calling me real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and get out real quick. And that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Is seeing like there's no confusion or mistake about where his heart is, where his attraction is, where love has, kind of developed and evolved and manifested in him. And so, but it's also true in terms of just people and how love happens and how love materializes. Like it is really different, but very much equal. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to equate the love that you have for people and different types of people with the love you have for your wife, but it's genuine across the board, is I think what I'm trying to get at, which is powerful in different iterations and different walks of life from different contexts and with different people on different platforms. And so that's something that I'm grateful for, in those places. And you to be able to bear with us too.
And you saying make me think about how Bad Bunny was very explicit, talking about how love always beats hate, and he making these he's making very declarative statements about love and relationship to hate that I find very interesting, because he's got so much hate by the people that say that we're going to get rid of hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My question though is Black History Month. A lot of people in our community felt like having Bad Bunny, a Puerto Rican that's not necessarily a Black American, which I think we're gonna unpackage the colony of Puerto Rico and what it means to say who's Black American and what's not Black American, because it's something there. But question leading into this discussion part right here. How do y'all feel about other Black people specifically saying that this Bad Bunny halftime was a slap in the face to Black folks because it's damn Black History Month, or feeling like this was the wackest halftime show because I don't understand English? I mean, I don't understand Spanish. I did see some of these sentiments. We seen the Hall of Fame running back brother that used to play for SMU. He talked about how bad it was.
Eric Dickerson. He was
Eric Dickerson. Eric Dickerson went in.
The Rams running back.
Yeah. Man, he went in about how this NFL losing touch, this, that, and the other. My question though, how do y'all feel about those type of responses? And what is your response if you was able to talk to them?
You kind of, I think you froze up just a little bit. My bad, I missed it. What was the question again? I think you might have just froze for me.
Yeah. What is
okay?
what are your thoughts about Black people that feel that way, specifically about this is a hijacking, this is out of touch, so I want to hear this shit, this is Black History Month? And if you had an opportunity to have a conversation with them, what would be your response to that response?
What?
Thank you, Toya. Here's the thing. I've been saying this for years. We've been saying this for years. It's too many niggas who want their blackness to look like whiteness. First of all, nigga, the Super Bowl is every February. If you niggas ain't complain about the Super Bowl being a reflection of Black History Month every February, I'm not trying to hear this shit. Like this is Black people attempting to, I don't know, like defend their blackness from a Karen standpoint.
Yeah,
you pearl clutching. It's not that. We're not acting like that the NFL has structured it's the way it views the Super Bowl halftime show around Black History Month ever. Has it been Black people? Yeah. Black artists? Yes. But the only like political reflection of blackness that we saw in the Super Bowl was Kendrick.
Yeah.
In recent history. It was Kendrick. That was it. That was the only time.
What about the 50 Cent Eminem? Remember the LA shit?
Nigga, you just said 50 Cent Eminem. Nigga, that ain't got shit to do with Black history. Yeah, it was Black people, yes, but that ain't got shit to do with Black history. So I think one, like that's just another example of Black people attempting to use their blackness as a way to embrace white xenophobia as it pertains to Latin communities.
Ooh, that sound familiar. I think that sound like a hey Max, listen, I was calling. I know I said Eminem Black people, but I was trying to think of the other rappers. And Eminem came out. Man, I'm tired, y'all. Don't hold it against me at all. I know it's Black History Month. I don't want to disrespect no other the Black people. Eminem, you is not Black, but you be with niggas. You know what I'm saying? You're not a nigga, but you be with niggas. And,
but that's the criticism, and it's like knowing that cultural displays of blackness have been repeatedly critiqued and criticized and called anti-American. Why, when it's another cultural display, you join into that choir of voices that is typically against you? That shit makes no sense to me. Like, I mean, and we see this kind of sentiment in just the immigration issue as it's been going along. It's been Black people adopting the rhetoric, the xenophobic, the anti-Latin rhetoric that is usually anti-Black.
Yeah.
But it's like, because it's not us, I'm okay using that rhetoric for somebody else. Because it's not us, I'm okay calling out like y'all shouldn't be showing this or doing all of this or being all this extra. I can't understand that. Nigga, you speak English, and when Snoop and them was doing the with Eminem the halftime show, they couldn't understand what them niggas was saying. They were saying that they couldn't all of that rap hippity hop. I couldn't understand that. So to borrow that rhetoric now that you are in the crosshairs to position that towards another ethnic group that's currently going through a very difficult time with institutional racism and structural racism. You know what I'm saying? To sound like Karens. That's what I'm
about to get into.
To sound like Karens. Yeah. I couldn't understand it. You need to speak English. Nigga, you don't speak English.
And what do I always say? Something else. I've always said the second you start sounding like them, that's when you need to check yourself. That's when you've lost the plot and you were weird and you were being weird as shit, right? And so what Netta says is also what I want to add on to where the plug is going with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a couple things. One, if you had a problem with that, but you say that you are invested in blackness and the investments that you have in that blackness are unified through the process of slavery and that unique moment of shifting in modernity where we start to re-understand who is human and who is not, then you have to understand the boats and that they have multiple stops. And if slavery is the bone you have to pick because it is the apex instance of why we are even identified as Black in the first place, then you got to account for all the boat stops, baby. It was just a matter of the way bodies were stacked, why they bled and urinated and defecated and threw up on each other across oceans, and the ones who decided not to jump off and liberate themselves and the ones who didn't get beat to death in the process were then just kind of selected in order of how they were stacked and laid to get off of a boat and go to a particular place. That is who you have a bone to pick. Your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your family, your aunties that got dropped off a couple stops before and after you. Say you sound stupid. Because if slavery is your bone to pick, then these are the people who were implicated and impacted by that same process. Second thing is, for my FBA folks, right? Oh, Black History Month is about Black Americans and about the struggle that they had. Well, America includes Puerto Rico and Guam and Hawaii and a couple of other places. So wherever Black people find themselves in those particular geospatial locations, that too is America. That is a reflection of the anti-Black settler colonial agenda, capitalist agenda, the interlocking systems of power. You need to read more because you don't understand how territorialism and governments work. If it's America, you got to talk about all America. And if you're going to talk about it, nitpick through which places and spaces get your respect and your credibility. If it's only about the lower 48 and the connection they have and the South and stuff like that, then you ain't no better than the people who enacted the Civil War. Because you are picking apart, accepting, taking, denying different parts of land and territory that really don't belong to you in the first place, and have negative implications and bloodshed over across all of it. So what really are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. Puerto Rico, yes. TLDR, Puerto Rico's in the United States, and the boat had many stops. Get with it or get lost. You ain't really
not only get with it to get lost. If you watch the symbolism of it, you seen, like somebody pointed out in the comment section, them was sugarcane. Like they were giving you the history of the plantation at the beginning of it and throughout his presentations or throughout his performance.
Did that not look familiar?
Come on.
Did it not look like a plant? You know what I'm saying? Like to a degree, did it not look like a plantation?
It was a plant. Like he's literally showing you the sugarcane plantations that still happen right now in Puerto Rico. And I think what it is that a lot of us forget that there are Black Puerto Ricans and Puerto Rico is a part of America. Therefore, there are Black Americans in Puerto Rico. Now, I do think there's a distinction to talk about in terms of there being people in Latinos or Latin people of Latinx descent that are also have African ancestry versus being an Afro-Latino. Like, I do think that there's a distinction of being like, yes, you have African ancestry, but you're not Black. Dude, is it something up in there? Yes, definitely. Yeah. But you're not Black though. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a distinction, but I still think that when it comes to celebrating the multiplicity of Blackness and Black people, in my mind, what Bad Bunny did was the illustration of the multiplicity of Blackness and Black folks. You seen dark skin, light skin, racially ambiguous. You seen folks that was, you feel me, indigenous. You seen folks that was half settler, half indigenous. You seen it all.
Which speaks to because here race has made us oversimplify how we think about identity.
For sure.
Like it's way more complicated than you look Black or you look white or you look Mexican or you not. There are layers and intersections that exist in these different ethnicities, nationalities, and how we understand and how we think through these things. But because of the racialized lens that we've been indoctrinated under, those conversations become difficult. We can't rationalize the uniqueness and the different layered ways that Latin identity and Black identity are connected because that ain't how that works. You either Black or you white or you Mexican.
So it's some comments like Exotico, like I'm trying to kind of rock and vibe with the sentiment that you have. You like FBA all day, happy Foundational Black History Month. Let Caribbeans and Africans have their months. That way more Black history is taught throughout the year, right? We don't have to talk about the whole damn diaspora in February, bruh. Damn. Here's the problem I have with that logic, probably out of your same mouth, and I don't want to speak for you, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but you would say that Black History Month in and of itself is a little facetious because you can't limit Black history to a month. So then why would you take other Black people who have similar, if not the same experience? Well, you would probably dispute that, but unique and prolific Black experiences and try to compartmentalize them into a month. Their history shouldn't be limited to a month either. So I say all this to say it should be all Black everything all the time everywhere, which means in February other things can happen because it's 365 Black. That means if I'm gonna be Black as hell in June, I'm gonna be Black as hell in August, I'm gonna be Black as hell in the middle of November, in between Christopher Columbus, I'm still Black as shit, right? All those things are happening. Then why are we upset that other things are happening in February? We are ubiquitous and unending. Right, we are breadth and depth, right? We are the beginning and the ending. So if we are shaping and influencing the world in ways, and if you and your foundational Blackness is as impactful as it is, then the sensitivities about this month versus you go over there, and we should have this month over here. It sounds like
minuscule them. Semantics.
It sounds like them.
No, look, it's like,
and this is why it's like the disconnect is real.
They complain that you can't reduce our history to a month.
And then
gatekeep
and then protect the month. And it'd be like, get off my mama.
That don't make no sense. Go ahead, Lee.
And two, it doesn't resolve the analysis above that we made 5-10 minutes ago about how Puerto Rico is a part of America and has been a part of America for over 100 years. And so when you start talking about the Black American experience, we ain't even got to play the diaspora game with you. It's just literally a part of America. Then we start putting the other very, very important and necessary context in terms of history. And it's like, hey, listen, man, this Puerto Rico space and place, this is a part of the Middle Passage. The reason why they speak Spanish is because they were colonized and enslaved by Spanish-speaking people. Now, if you a nigga that's from Florida, if you a nigga from Florida and you a nigga that's been in Florida for generations and generations, your slave master is the same master as the niggas had in Puerto Rico. So when you start making all these very surface level delineations, because y'all let us sweep it down, that we can't make delineations. People watching this right now. The criticism is not against delineations. It's the way that y'all fold pro-blackness into being xenophobic. It's the way y'all fold pro-blackness into being exactly like the massa. I think that it's crazy to believe that you can become more legitimate to get reparations by celebrating mass deportation, or you closer to get reparations if you take on the ideas of white supremacy, i.e. the niggas that look like that and niggas that don't speak English is bad. And it's like, hey man, you sound like them. Not only do you sound like them, you're showing that George Bush left you behind and that you're so lost in a toss of patriotism, you're willing to champion it at the expense of anything. And it's like
anything. It's really the catch-22 snafu. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. But that's why I say the modern critique of whether it's like the immigration conversations, especially stemming from FBA people, is white nationalism and blackface. At the end of the day, the criticism of Latino people or Latinx people, it's not black. It's not uniquely black. You know what I mean? It's black people doing and saying white shit. Like black people attempting to think and act and look at the world from a white lens. Like like there's even the concept of delineation is dumb because there's no confusion who's who.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that we're not lost in that. And so that's why what I really appreciated about this is that it simplifies things so much. All they did was be Latin. That's it. And the people that are against that are helping us to be able to recognize and be able to identify that being anti-American to them has nothing to do with anything other than being non-white. Because I think what fucked me up the most, if you look at some of the responses to Bad Bunny, like it was like one of the Paul brothers, and I'm mad I'm even talking about a tweet or whatever he said, but it exemplifies what's wrong with these motherfuckers. Oh, you a fake American because you criticize ICE. You a fake American because you criticize our government, what our government is doing. My grandma actually, she watches the show.
And let's not forget real quick, this is the same fake American.
Shout out to Green. Shout out to grandma, man.
This is the same fake American that moved to Puerto Rico to not have to pay taxes. So
right,
you live in Puerto Rico.
Look, I was about to say MF, but she talked to me. She was like, "Find a better word to use, baby. Don't say the MF word so much." I'm like, "Okay, grandma." But the same people that are telling you that you're not American because you critique the government, Bad Bunny's not American because he spoke out against ICE and he speaks out against our president, is ignoring the fact that literally the U.S. Constitution is set up to be able to dissent the government, to be able to speak out against the government, to be able to say that this is what our government is doing wrong. This is what I don't like. There is nothing more American than saying, fuck the president. Nothing more American than that. Because if I get in my political science bag, if I get into my constitutionalist bag, the whole freedom of speech it came from people who couldn't talk shit about their leader.
And that's the whole premise.
So we know it's not about talking shit about the president. It's not about criticizing the United States. It's literally white people being upset that other ethnic celebration or other ethnic identities are being celebrated. That's it. So a lot of these comments, we don't even need to take a lot of these criticisms serious because none of it holds up to any legitimate scrutiny. That's why these like when you people like Megyn Kelly and other online voices, the only reason the shit that they saying sound like it's valid is because they sit on a mic by themselves. They're not having a conversation with somebody who can hold their feet to the fire to point out the hypocrisy and the shit that they identifying. We get that white people abandon their ethnic ancestry to be white. We understand that, but that doesn't mean that everybody else that exists here can't embrace where we came from as Americans.
I just on a surface level, it'll just always come off as insecure for me, which will always undermine the very strength and power and self-determinative understanding that we've worked so hard to develop about ourselves, right? Like, and just without even overcomplicating it, without being, talking about geopolitics or settler colonialism, or it's just you just sound like weak. Like, I gotta have it all. You can't have none. Like, we can't. You like, other people can't feel good about themselves real quick. The Super Bowl, we ain't supposed to be watching the Super Bowl. Look, what happened to what they did to Colin Kaepernick? What happened? I'm shamed too. I'm shamed
too. You feel me? Like, you're like, come on,
we really not standing on business. So if your investments, your emotional investments, are really on how convoluted and complicated this is, and how the NFL has propagated this message and allowed for Black History Month to be crowded out, and the NFL was already a plantation. At least they could have did it was let why you shouldn't even be talking about no NFL. Shame on you, because it's all bad for Black people. It all is a meal. It's all a trading block. It's all a perpetuation of the slave trade and what it looks like to, market off and bargain off the value of Black bodies. And so why do you care? Like before I get to this, like, you sound let down. And you got to stop letting stuff let you down that was never there to hold you up to begin with. The NFL is bad for business when it comes to protecting Black people and what they're supposed to have anyway. So your critique is of the NFL, and you should go back to really kind of doubling down on that. Don't even worry about what the Super Bowl is doing. You should have already known there was going to be some pieces of shit when it came to Black people and Black History Month. And you should just not care. But don't come over here raining on the parades of Black Afro-Latine people, the Latinx diaspora, and people who just enjoy good music because you're mad about the NFL. The NFL ain't shit. Capitalism,
NFL ain't shit. Welcome to the party.
Exploitation par excellence, and you should just not watch them at all. You shouldn't care.
Right.
And to the individual in the comment section that's talking about delineations, you just happen to be in the conversation with three amazing former college debaters. And right now on the internet, y'all call it straw man argumentation. In our world, we call it no link. We're not making any arguments about delineation being bad. I think that a lot of people within the Federal Black Agent Association, that y'all believe that we're making distinctions or critiques about delineation. We're not saying delineation is bad. We're saying that the way that you place value onto delineation is bad. The way that you start to create entitlement and expectations around delineation, we're saying that is bad. So as somebody that's a Pan-Africanist, somebody that believes in the multiplicity of throughout the diaspora, the delineation and distinctions amongst us within the diaspora is something that's a part of where we get the idea of Pan-Africanism. A lot of y'all have these bastardized ways of viewing and understanding when it comes to Pan-African ideas. And it's just, it comes out when you start trying to tell me the distinction, delineation between an Igbo or Yoruba. You trying to tell me the distinction, delineation between a Nigerian and the Ghanese. Like, yes, here in America, we have distinctions. I'm a proud Southerner. A lot of y'all don't like the way I talk. You see what I'm saying? So I don't. So like,
correct people when they say we from the South. Like, actually, no.
Delineation,
not at all.
We're all illustrating right now. People watching this, we're illustrating that we love delineations. We love distinctions. We are champions of giving a good distinction, a good, framing of what this is and what this ain't. So when you come with the criticisms, make it good. But keeping this conversation going along, though, because I think that, there were some lyrics that came out to me when I started Googling some shit and started being like, hold on. Especially, I was jamming like, man, Google, what that song called? You say it's called La Porca, what Hawaii? What about Hawaii? So it's a song called Lo Que Pasa en Hawaii. It's a song of Bad Bunny's talking about how he doesn't want Puerto Rico to be colonized or gentrified like Hawaii. And when I looked at those lyrics, it hit me like a ton of bricks. So I thought about everything I learned about Hawaiian colonization when the Hawaii fires happened. My question to y'all is, what are the parallels that we can kind of teach our audience about what's happening with Puerto Rico and what happened to Hawaii? And what do y'all think it meant for Bad Bunny to use the Super Bowl stage to condemn colonization of Hawaii and to say I don't want Puerto Rico to be that way? Or am I thinking about this too deeply?
Boy, what you think?
I think it's twofold. I go back to, as we get older, we've been on this type of shit for a while, and so I go back to, I like to think about how I would have responded to like political messages in the Super Bowl 15 years ago versus how niggas talk about political messages in the Super Bowl today. And so there's that pessimist in me that's like, it makes for a good show, makes for a good feel good show, and really nothing more than that. But as I've gotten older, and in just conversations that we've had, just about the importance and the significance of representation, and who knows what is the spark to wake somebody up, you know what I'm saying, mentally, like what leads to the decolonization of the mind, and if we know that the suppression of whether it's Black thought, other ethnic ways of cultural ways of thinking and being, are typically suppressed, or told that you don't need to, like that's not for good public display. Having that be on the stage that it was on, I think that it was a huge benefit for different cultures that, like, specifically right now, feels like I don't even want to go outside because I don't even know what shit gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? And being on TikTok and seeing all the different ways that people was just celebrating, just hearing their country be called. You know what I mean? Whether it was Nicaragua, whether it was Honduras, whether all of these different, even the Canadians, like we were saying, it makes it to where even through the hyper commodification, right? There's still ways that affect can push forward what different ways of thinking and different ways of understanding that could lead the next change maker to go in that direction, or you know what I'm saying, or the next writer or the next thinker to be able to move in that way, or for more people to understand, hell, what's Puerto Rico going through, and then why is he mentioning Hawaii? What because Hawaii is supposed to be a paradise. Why would he say he don't want Puerto Rico
paradise for who?
Right?
Not so the indigenous folks of Hawaii. I'm talking how they said Hawaii. Sure.
So even as we move through, even though we see these types of messages through the lens of a hyper commodified spectacle like the Super Bowl, you never know who that's going to cause that spark for in there.
Let me also say this too, and I'm pretty sure the hardcore FBA Pan-Africanists might not believe or agree with this particular perspective, and this will be the last thing I have to say about the performance. It is that I'm never gonna let, if we are to truly be set aside in what I feel like is uniquely better than the white supremacist and white supremacy that we have been kind of attempted to be captured by, you're not going to steal my empathy and you're not going to steal my compassion for other people. That is a key feature of the Blackness that I identify with, that I'm not going to let the coldness of this anti-Black world try to steal away from me, right? And so I think it's very dangerous to, complicate something very simple. We watched a nation full of people. I said 125 million people, I believe, or 28 million people, something like that, watched the Super Bowl performance. And the vast majority
of them, 133 million, like 133.5.
I hope it's higher than that. Let me be wrong. I think 138 million is how many people watched the Super Bowl overall. But less people watch the actual halftime performance. Here's what I'm getting at. My heart is not so cold. My compassion, my ability to empathize with people is not so weak. I'm not so scorned and hurt by the anti-Black world that I've been exposed to and the white supremacist violence that I've seen perpetuated on myself and others, that I can't have a moment where I just sit back and allow for somebody to feel how maybe I felt during the Kendrick show, or how I feel when Whitney Houston sings the national anthem, you know what I'm saying, for the Olympics. Those moments that give me chills, that make me kind of shudder a little bit, because that's me. I can take a couple minutes out. I can take 15 to 17 minutes out in the Super Bowl, celebrate a game to let somebody else feel that. I'm not so scorned. I'm not so beat up. I'm not so tore down that I can't have a moment where I just recognize that somebody else deserves to feel chills. And this goes back to me being able, to have the empathetic power of decentering myself, which is something that can be a both and strategy for people who have a very diligent and militant politic and ideology about their Blackness, but still live on this big ass rock with other people. Y'all need to go sit down and talk to some folks just about how hard and how hurt you have to be to not only, you know what I'm saying, like, just exist around it, but to have just whole thought pieces and whole conversations, like everything ain't worth this fight you trying to pick to kind of push your way up to be the new supremacy. That shit is weak.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Right. And I think it undermines the very unique kind of features of blackness that make us better than and elevated over and capable of complicating some. Like I just think you showing that your resume don't check out. You're not really as qualified to take on these types of fights as you think you are. Because when it's all said and done, you're willing to be devoid of empathy and compassion and the ability to share the power of seeing people on a big stage being represented that look like you and feel like you. I'm never gonna lose the capacity to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because that was the first thing I said when I as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is the Latin.
I'm talking about bleeding and fighting and dying. I'm talking about a Super Bowl performance. I feel empathy and I send thoughts and prayers, but I ain't finna go bleed or fight for no culture.
I definitely want to
just talking about a Super Bowl performance.
Keep the conversation going, but it's like we're talking about a Super Bowl performance, and you making a whole bunch of sensationalized analogies. That's like, bro, you like to make your point. You have to create these type of things, and to me, this be my frustration when it comes to my frustration when it comes to a lot of trying to have a substantive dialogue around power and domination when it comes to commodification about the Super Bowl and identities, Puerto Ricans, Black Americans, Puerto Ricans sometimes being Black Americans, but not all Puerto Ricans are Black Americans. All of them are Black. You feel me? We're trying to have a substantive conversation that pushes dialogue forward and understanding. And now we have individuals. It's not all FBA, but it's always FBA that wants to curtail these conversations.
It may not be all of them, but it's definitely this.
It might not be all the niggas, goddamn it, but it's always a nigga from this clique that want to come in and start shucking and jiving in the name of American patriotism and believe that if you suck the dick of patriotism just a nut, it'll nut all in your face. So you can paint some shit with it. You can't get it. You ain't gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is, on the chop up, we try to keep it chopped up, not slop up. But if you like it sloppy, goddamn, you can get it sloppy, but we ain't might not have it for you over here. You feel me? And the last thing I say this. When it came to the Grammys, and it came to Shabuzi making a statement about immigrants building America.
Yeah,
the ability for you to say two things can be true at the same time in order to be like, hey, Shabuzi, you a goddamn lie. Immigrants did not build this country. Also, in me disagreeing with you, I'm not going to advocate for you to be detained or for you to be deported. Am I disagreeing with you about you making a ahistorical claim? I still can see your humanity and recognize, nigga, you wrong as two left shoes. But I'm still happy that you run the Grammy, and nigga, I hope you learn some history. You see that, FBA? I can acknowledge Afro-pessimism taught me anti-blackness. That's the world. So even when you say I don't believe in no culture anti-black, I will argue that black culture itself, that's what makes it so beautiful, is that it's also structured by anti-blackness. That's the reason why we fight against the talented 10th concepts. It's the reason why we fight against misogynoir. It's the reason why we fight against respectability politics. It's because the way that anti-blackness is structured, how we relate to each other, is that. And that's the reason why my beef will be with you federal black agents, because you replicate the same logic, the same apparatus of the federal government. You just do it on people around you. It's just easy for you to do. Last thing I say is this. Right now, we have the American government busting into Black Americans' cars and houses, asking us for our papers, and y'all beef is still with Puerto Ricans, even though they American. Them undocumented folks is not detaining us. They ain't locking us up. They ain't dragging us nowhere. It's the ICE agents that's also doing it that way. So just hoping that you wake up and see the goddamn. I don't know what you want to see. I don't know.
We love the black folk. No, carry on. My bad.
No, go ahead.
The boat, y'all. The boat.
Hey, for some reason though, I guess
the Spaniards are different, but the French, you know, kind of the way that the French Quarter hit, and we'll go to New Orleans all the time and have a good time, and they speak so interesting, and that we love them so much, but Puerto Ricans, because they're up and to the left, we just really can't do it. But the boat trips and the slavery and the colonial, so the French are cool, but we don't rock with the Spaniards. Listen, they all fucked up white people who drop people off.
All enslavers.
Like it's very. I just want you to fathom how silly you sound, and the further you get from a connection and relationship with the way that the transatlantic slave trade transformed what it meant to be black here at all forever and ever and amen. The harder it's going to be for you to kind of grapple with this interesting American exceptionalism that you have and this insatiable appetite you have to the land that was. We don't even get into indigenous people and how they play a role into it. But I'm to this. I don't have it.
Yeah, man.
Really, what we got to do is we just got to start calling certain shit what it is. Like the outrage against Bad Bunny and whatever imagery and display is propaganda. It is white nationalist propaganda, and that's it. And anybody pushing the rhetoric associated with being upset about that halftime show is pushing your propagandists. There's no other way around it. Like there's no intelligent conversation to be had. There's no insightful, nuanced depth that can make any of these arguments or any of these complaints make fucking sense. You can try to like how he did. You can try to say, "Oh, it's about I ain't jumping out the window to fight for these people," and it's like, nigga, we talking.
Nobody asked you to do that.
Appreciating a halftime show, and niggas is.
I ain't getting out there and sacrifice for myself.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, we get it. Niggas show up
Super Bowl show.
Script. And it's disheartening that in 2026, the faux pro-black script is now, how much can I sound like a white man without sounding like a white man? And that's where we at. And so once we recognize we there, when these people show up in these type of spaces, when you hear them with the Fox News rhetoric, when you hear them talk about the Democratic shields or the liberal this and that, what you recognize is that these are not people who think critically. These are people who have been given a script and read it for free. I mean, hell, like it's a thin line between being a propagandist and a social media thought, because you just busting it open for somebody who ain't giving you nothing for it. There's no benefit. Like for black people complaining about the Super Bowl.
Even the best sex workers would not agree with it. Even the best sex workers would tell you next you ain't what you're supposed to be doing, goddamn. You ain't supposed to be getting it out like that.
You ain't even good thotting. You ain't even good thotting. You doing it for free.
Because we are pro sex workers on the Top Up Show, just to be clear. We just using it euphemistically to talk about these because I think that what it is too is that sometimes the most misogynistic motherfuckers be the most attention whore like, and it's like you claim you don't like whores, but you move like a whore. So which one is it? You can't condemn this type of movement when it comes to visibility and saying you want to be acknowledged, and then you engage in the misogyny. And you know what I'm saying? To me, it don't make sense. And to me, I feel like a lot of the federal black agents, they have a bad leader that's not leading them good in terms of visibility. So they got to latch on to people like Conscious Lee and Deontay Kyle, because that's the only way they get airplay. Nobody give a fuck about Tariq Nasheed. Nobody cares about all the nameless, anonymous, you know what I'm saying, bot pages and people that nobody care about y'all really. So the reason why y'all able to always be camped out in my shit like federal agents, like y'all on stakeouts, is because this is the only way y'all get airtime. So right now, it's Black History Month. I believe in the multiplicity of blackness and black people. And even though I can't stand you federal black agent motherfuckers, I still see the blackness in you niggas, and I'm giving you some airtime. But after Black History Month, I'm going back to the regularly scheduled programming for 2026 that says that you niggas that's not adding to what I got going on, you subtract it from it. And what I know is that all attention hoes don't deserve my attention. And when it comes to the FBA attention hoes, the federal black agents, unhand me. I'm here with my brothers and sisters having a full conversation about Puerto Rico and goddamn Super Bowl, and y'all coming to my comment section on my platform talking about this. Unhand me. I don't like y'all. Y'all don't like me. Let's be adults about this, and let's just, you go to your side, I go to my side. I don't bother you, you don't bother me. You know what I mean? Education's elevation. Am I tripping or?
Nah, bro. It's one of them things where they need somewhere to get the script off, because they can't just sit amongst themselves saying the same script, because they know ain't shit gonna come from it. So they gotta, you know what I mean?
So now we have Bad Bunny, who has been intentional and very, very, very intentional about not only acknowledging the multiplicity of blackness and black people, but being intentional about talking about dark-skinned black experiences or acknowledging them, as well as black American experiences, or at least acknowledging them. So when I hear these individuals engaging in like white supremacist logic, or you repeating the same sticking points you heard on Fox News, it's like, hey, you enjoy Kendrick Lamar's performance, and you're saying the exact same thing that the crackers had to say about Kendrick Lamar last year.
That does not make sense to me, bro. I can't, and I feel like it's the logic that fucks up the most for me, because I'm like, when you hear white people say it, it was like, oh, look at they anti-black and they racist and da 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 da. And then when it comes out your mouth, just because the context is different, you don't feel ick. You know what I mean? Like it's not something that where when you say it, it hits your ears and it reminds you of something that you already felt like was not right. Like I don't see how niggas because I call it ideological consistency. Like FBA niggas, like niggas or just niggas that are just anti, like that pro-ICE or anti-immigrant, all of that. They lack ideological consistency. Like it's conversations where you got people talking about like what happened to Alex Preddy or what happened to Renee Good.
Hey, it's a script, bro.
It's the script. Like, like okay.
It is a script. Right. It's a script. You feel me? That it's like I just got to get the script off.
Yes,
I love Constantly so much. I wanna see how the script ran with him. It's like it's like the same. You know what I'm
this is the same.
Tariq Sheet is married to a biracial woman as well, and it's just like. But I let that go. What you were saying?
I mean, my thing is the script's so strong, right? But Tubman Party ran out of unique things to say that actually grappled with some of the minutia of what we were talking about, and it was like, I'm running out of good comments. Consciously's wife is white. Like it was just like the
same high, the same.
Any interesting inferences, any meaningful interrogations with what we've been saying. You not grappled with some of the points that we've made about everything. For the substance is missing, and so that's the panic button, and y'all got to get a better approach because there's 3 of us over here. So you ain't got to know. I don't know what do you have something on us? Do you want to do some research on me?
No. I mean,
they'll come up with something on your ass too, Toy. They'll come up with something. I'm
excited. But I do want to highlight some of the positive comments. I don't want to give
for sure. Shout out to you, Netta.
Foundational Black American. Foundational Black American is what it stands for.
But going through some
federal black agents. That's what it stands. Federal black agents.
More productive comments. So we got Melodious. Shout out to Melodious, man.
Hey, good morning, Melodious. We seen you come in and say good morning. Good morning to you.
Said thank you. I'm shocked by how many unks and aunties are prejudiced against our own culture and sometimes literal cousins. A lot of old black people will be great white conservatives, not for their skin. And I mean, that's true. That's the sad thing about it. Like that's true. Michonne said they don't know any better. Yeah, and a lot of them don't read. That's what I always say. So like a lot of these niggas that say this type of shit, they just don't read, and it shows. My boy Tyler, shout out to Tyler, long time Chop Nation. They want to Kid Rock and his transphobic friends. Hey, actually,
the bang, biggie.
You know, and what I think was super funny about the whole Kid Rock shit is, I know everybody. We've all heard the I like them underage. Some call it statutory. I call it mandatory. And the fact that the same people that was like Epstein files, the same people that said Pizzagate, the same people that said, you know, the Democrats and the liberals is grooming our kids and all of that, had no problem supporting Kid Rock's whatever fuck show that was. The irony of it though is, I don't know if y'all have seen this, because they came out and said that 6 million people. First they tried to say 20 million people was watching it, and it's like, there's no data.
No way.
Then they tried to say it was 6 million people watching it on YouTube.
Sorry,
10,000.
Candace Owens, the 2 people that I'll never give props to neither one of these motherfuckers, but a broken clock is right twice a day. Yes, Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes shitted on that TPUSA Kid Rock bullshit. Candace Owens pointed out that statistically, there's no way in hell they had 60 million people watching on YouTube, because that would make that show the second highest watched live stream on YouTube
ever.
I seen the clips from wherever Trump was at watching the game and the game was on. The halftime show was on.
I ain't even seen that.
Oh my mama! It was on at the Trump Super Bowl party. The Super Bowl show, the halftime show was playing. So like the Bad Bunny version. There was white people sitting around drinking.
Hold on.
Oh my mama!
Donald Trump had a Super Bowl party, and you said that Bad Bunny was playing instead of Kid Rock.
Let me see if I can find a tweet. Carry on with the conversation. This is what I'll be
doing. Damn. Not with the gang.
Max, I might toss it to you real soon.
Yeah, Max. Hey, what I say right here is something that blew my mind is this. As a former administrator at a university that did a lot of work in HR when it comes to sexual assault, Kid Rock was dressed up like a frat boy that none of us would want our daughters, nieces, granddaughters around if they were at the college with him. He was dressed up like a predatory frat boy jumping around the stage that should have graduated 8 years ago that's still here preying on the freshmen. That's how Kid Rock was jumping around in that thing. And then I say this, even niggas in hip hop know when to drop the little in front of their name typically. And the fact that you have the white supremacists, they love to paint niggas as being habitually adolescents, habitually immature. You need to grow up. It's like you have a 55-year-old white man jumping around the stage calling himself Kid Rock.
Man, listen. Even Nick Fuentes said, and fuck that white supremacist, but even he said, if you, I'm never gonna mention them and not say fuck, just so niggas know that it ain't even like
Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, you ain't got no love over here, motherfucker. Even a broken clock, you ain't a broken clock. You know what I'm saying? Even a sunshine on a sorry ass dog ass every once in a while, my grandfather would say.
But when you got him saying that if they on the TP, if you siding with TPUSA, yeah, y'all fucked. If that is a reflection of where the conservative party is going and where the culture war is headed, outside of them being in control of the government, oh yeah, they losing. They losing. When a literal Super Bowl halftime show, when most of the millionaires that own these NFL teams and all that, they still eating and all of that shit. Like the white power structure is not being touched. You know what I mean? But when you were that hurt by this type of display, yeah, you on the way out. You're on the way out. And this is why you got people like Elon Musk talking about white people are dying at such a high rate and birth rates and all that other shit. Bro. This is why the great replacement theory is real, because look at snowflakes. And y'all can't even get enough people. Even it was more people hate watching Bad Bunny than it was.
And not to bring it back, and not to beat the dead horse. Not to beat the dead horse. But this is a specific place to articulate a link between white supremacists and the federal black agents. Y'all also perpetuate the great replacement theory, especially when it comes to how y'all think black Americans are being replaced. And y'all never had a smoke with the motherfuckers that's authorizing the quote unquote believe perceptional idea of being replaced. Your beef is not with the federal government that created the immigration laws. Your beef is not with the ICE that's able to give, you know what I'm saying? Your beef is not with all of the different entities that gave opportunities, what you say over to immigrants, over niggas. Your beef is with the motherfuckers that got to give it to them. So to me, it just shows that you can't think for yourself so much that what Dr. Umar Johnson say, when the pineal gland is you know what I'm saying, when the coon chip is activated, and you know what, I'm not even a Dr. Umar fan. You see what I'm saying? I think Dr. Umar be chucking and driving in ways I don't like. You feel me? But what I will say is that when it comes to, and you know what, federal black agents, I told myself I was gonna be nice. But when it comes to y'all bitch ass leader Tariq Nasheed, this the reason why y'all is being led out astray, man. Your leadership, you feel me? The organization lacks its leadership. And your organization lacks leadership. And that's the reason why y'all be on my nuts so much. Get off of them, please. Thank you.
All right, so this is footage from inside Trump's golf club. The Super Bowl party reveals the Bad Bunny halftime show played on big screens. Even man. Trump.
That's crazy, bro.
Even Trump wasn't watching that shit, bro.
Traitors.
Look at him. Look at all the saltines.
Erica Kirk. If you're watching this, Erica Kirk, you got to call him to the administration to figure out what the hell going on, man.
Yeah. Look at all these saltines.
Well, hey, you know what you made me think of too? Is that there was a bunch of, to me, it'd be a lot of straight men that have such a fear around, you feel me, homosexuality or something. Little people, it's like we seen a whole bunch of gyrating women ass around there. How many niggas made think pieces about the 2 seconds of me and bumping grinding? Now, me being a revolutionary, me thinking like that was revolutionary right there. That was I ain't never seen this on, you know what I'm saying? There I use the word revolution in relationship to Super Bowl. Maybe shit at the great state. But my point, it was like, so all this ass around is shaking and gyrating, all different skin colors and all different, you know what I'm saying, different thigh shapes and all different. You're worried about the men that's bumping and grinding?
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even see it. I was up here like, nigga, I didn't see none of that. All I seen was gyrating.
You feel me? You know, niggas mad about 2 men. I'm like, man.
Listen, if your attention got drawn to that, with all the ass,
the call coming from inside the house, man. The call coming from inside the house.
It on the screen.
You feel me?
Oh,
you just, you know.
Matter of fact, it wasn't even until today that I even knew that it was, you know what I'm saying, other shit going on. Because I said, like, it was all of the beauty that was just in that mother. Then I'm sorry.
Hey, and this right here. I feel like I want to bring up the Epstein files, but we gotta have a whole thing for this. But for federal black agents, like that's in the comment section right now, think about all of the moral outrage they have when it comes to homosexuality and protecting children, and then think about all of the lack of outrage and silence we have when it comes to the Epstein files. So the illegal should be brutalized on presence because their presence makes them illegal, but all of the pedophilia and all the raping and all of the kidnapping and all the exploitation of the Epstein files, we don't care about that. But consciously in the Chop Up Show, y'all are promoting zestiness. And Bad Bunny's gay. Protect the pedophiles, hit ass.
What it shows is what it shows is what counts as.
And BP says, to be clear, a whole ass hetero message was a part of a marriage was a part of the show. There was a wedding ceremony during the halftime show where a hetero.
But let's focus on the bump and grinding. The bump and grinding.
For it was a whole 3.5, 4 seconds. Stop.
Yeah, 3 seconds, man. 3 seconds. Hey, you know what's crazy too? The same people that wanna reduce Donald Trump posting, he was only a 1 second clip of Barack Obama and Michelle as monkeys, and it wasn't even, he was a staffer, it was just 1 second. It's now a part of the same people that want to blow up 3 second, you know what I'm saying, grind, but also the black people uniquely that are aligning themselves with white supremacists when it comes to opposing gender and sexuality. Nigga, we see y'all. Like, we can see y'all. Like, I don't think y'all know how much we can see y'all. Like in 4K, we see y'all.
But bro, a part of it is these niggas have been taught outrage as opposed to like activism. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to understanding, as opposed to political discourse. You have been taught outrage over like since I want to say really since we go back to like 2012. Like after Obama won the second time, white people was just angry. It had no real justified reason to be, right? No real, like there was nothing that Obama, because as much as they called him a super hyper liberal and all that shit, or hyper leftist, whatever, real niggas know that nigga was closer to moderate conservatism than he was to motherfucking left. And since then, since niggas started talking about his birth certificate, since niggas started talking about all like making all of this insufficient shit rise to the level of national discourse, we are now in 2026, and we literally have other countries are starting government investigations based around what's being exposed in the Epstein files. The people that was telling you Pizzagate, the people that was telling you we need to protect the kids, the people that were now that we see who the real predators are, have now transitioned to, oh my God, Bad Bunny. You have been taught to just bitch and complain about minuscule, inconsequential shit.
A million pages.
As opposed to giving any real attention to the shit that matters. And I'll say this and I'll pass, I'm gonna shut up. Because the fact that they openly campaigned on the significance of the Epstein files and completely backtracked within a year, you motherfuckers must have the memory of goldfish. It gotta be that bad. I'm telling you, the fact that more of y'all aren't offended by the fact that the nigga y'all either said, I don't care if you get elected or not, just somebody need to release these files, or actively voted for him and not taking a step back like, oh, you think we're dumb. I fuck with the liberals is on. You think I'm an idiot. Because you're willing to be a dumb fuck as long as you're against progressives.
Well, we could have some things to say about, speaking of Epstein, and as we start to wrap it up, because we had about an hour. Pam Bondi, Attorney General, is being question tomorrow and deposed about the mishandlings of things up to this point. And I think this might just be Epstein or related. I don't know if there will be any ICE questioning, but she deserves to be questioned about all the bullshit that's going on right now. So her feet gonna be held to the fire, and we might end up having some more things to say on Thursday night when we get back on live. This week we love y'all so much. On Valentine's Day week, you getting a 2 for 1.
We're gonna be back.
Hey, and tomorrow morning. Pull up on me tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Central, man. 10:30 a.m. You're getting 3 days back to back. You know what I'm saying? And who knows, man? I might be able to convince Toya or Damo to pull up on me tomorrow morning, maybe. Who knows?
I'll be teaching the young minds of America, so I'll be in class. But y'all pull up tomorrow morning or Thursday evening, and we'll be tapped back in with y'all to have a conversation about a couple different things.
I want to do my producer had left us some things back there that I think that the audience would love to learn about, because I thought it was interesting. Shout out to Max, the producer. Apparently the Super Bowl was not always played in February. I think that some of y'all might find this interesting as I do. Super Bowl began frequently occurring during Black History Month in the early 2000s as the NFL shifted the game from late January to the first Sunday in February, and this started in 2001 was the first time it was in February. In 2002 was the first time we had Super Bowl in February. So we see there's been a switch from the end of January to the beginning of February. But we see it's been like that for over 20 years. So when you have your outrage about what happened in Black History Month, they had Bono and U2 and goddamn a whole bunch of random ass people that I know for a fact. If I heard a song right now from them, I would not know it. I can be real. I'm not as cultured as, you know what I'm saying, Damo is or Toya is when it comes to that.
I don't know none of them white people songs.
I thought of them weird ass games you playing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Would introduce you to, some Sting or some Bono, some YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And Skyrim don't play that. When you playing Skyrim, you ain't never heard of a YouTube banger, bro.
No, Skyrim does not play YouTube in the background, bro. But yeah, you can close this out to you.
Oh, yeah, close it out to you. I'm tripping there, man. I'm tired.
Hey, we love y'all. It's been a great show. We appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate the comments going live. Of course, we can't jump into all of them, but every now and again we catch our eye catches something, or we try to tap in with y'all. But even y'all talking to each other, you know what I'm saying, is a blessing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, for the people, we're debaters in real life. So we talk our shit, we pop our shit, we stand on business. But every time you drop a comment and engage and participate in dialogue, it's some substance being added to the flow. So we love the people who disagree with us too. We don't always agree with each other either. Either way it goes, we always gonna chop it up. You know what I'm saying? And what Lee said is very true. It's chopped up and never slapped up. We always doing something fun, interesting, and engaging, and trying to pull y'all into it. So
we on Thursday night.
I'm gonna stop at chopped up, never slapped up, and all of the extra stuff. Go rewind the show, watch it over again, and hear the rest of the instructions for what you can do. But we love y'all. Have a wonderful night. Have a beautiful rest of your week. But don't get too cozy, because tomorrow morning you got something to tap in with.
And shout out to everybody on Substack. Specifically, shout out to all the Substack community. Everybody on Substack. Make sure y'all go subscribe to us on Substack. Oh my gosh.
Noel done popped in the building.
Chop Nation done popped up on us. Appreciate you, Noel.
Original VIP member, you know what I'm saying? Gold star, platinum card carrying Chop Nation. So much love for Noel and the work that she constantly does just to empower individuals who are working, supporting city work, city government, supporting public infrastructure, people who just really work hard for their communities and really leading, guiding those people to the next level, and different projects, different opportunities, different just portals to what it means to develop communities, specifically and more recently up in California. So in Central California, I think. But big love to Noel always and forevermore. Big love to Melodious. Big love to BP. Big love to Tyler. Also Original Chop Nation, and everybody else who's jumping in. Hopefully y'all be nation. Hopefully y'all link up with us and stay with us for a little while. We're gonna have a good time. Substack is an app that allows for journalism to really captivate audiences in ways that are a little bit more personal, a little bit more accessible than maybe they are. In a world of, you know, media conglomerates, in the world of a lot of distorted representations of the facts, you have people, journalists who are capable of speaking for themselves, people who may not even call themselves journalists, but are creatives or people with unique ideas who want to make sure they can get it straight to the people who appreciate it. So if you are into that, you should get on Substack. Maybe even you can use Substack to get and signal boost some of the work that you're doing, but you can absolutely follow the Chop Up Show, and you should absolutely definitely go follow the Conscious League, because the platform is growing over there as well. The community over there is growing. It's a lot of great conversations on Lee's page. So follow, you'll make your way to Substack and go follow him and so many other creators and people that who you will recognize, right? These same people, some of our favorite people who are on other platforms, but have, you know, who are writers, who are making videos, who are releasing content. Go check it out over there. Plug, what you got?
Well, I started my Substack too, though. So it's at the Political Plug Substack, or thepoliticalplug.substack.com. Y'all can find me there. I just put a video there, but we gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna run that Substack up. So because fuck TikTok, standing on that. You know what I mean? Really fuck Meta too, but you know, we rock out. It is what it is. But Substack, Twitter. we about to start running it up. So y'all fuck with us.
Fuck with us, man.
I think we can be out of here. We love y'all. Be easy, be safe. Until the next time. Chop Nation.